Everyone talks about motivation, chasing it, waiting for it, hoping it shows up. But here's the truth: motivation fades. Momentum doesn't. You don't need another pep talk. You need movement. In this video, we're breaking down why momentum beats motivation every single time. How small actions, done consistently, create unstoppable progress. And trust me, once you start rolling, you won't need to feel motivated ever again. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Because in the game of growth, consistency always wins over inspiration. The real psychology behind motivation. Motivation isn't a lightning bolt that hits you from nowhere. It's a feedback loop, and most people get the sequence backwards. Your brain doesn't reward you for thinking about doing something or planning to do something. It rewards you for actually doing it. When you take action, even the smallest action, and see any kind of progress, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine creates the feeling we call motivation. So motivation doesn't start the engine, it's the fuel that gets produced once the engine is already running. Your brain rewards movement, not intention. This is why you can spend hours watching motivational videos and still feel stuck. But 5 minutes of actual work can shift your entire mood. The psychology is simple. Action creates evidence, evidence creates confidence, and confidence creates the desire to continue. You're not looking for motivation to start. You're looking for momentum, and momentum only comes from motion. Why adults struggle with this? Children have a natural advantage when it comes to taking action. They don't overthink. They haven't yet learned to calculate every possible risk or mentally simulate every potential outcome. If they see a playground, they run toward it. If they want to try something new, they dive in headfirst. There's no endless debate in their minds about whether it's the right time or if they're qualified to do it. They simply act. Adults, on the other hand, do the exact opposite. Over time, we're conditioned to analyze, plan, and prepare before we make a move, because mistakes feel expensive. We've learned that errors can have consequences, so we instinctively hesitate. We think before we act, which can be wise in some situations, but often we think so much that we end up never acting at all. This is how many adults fall into what I call learning mode. You feel stuck, so you decide to get ready. You watch endless tutorials, read books, listen to podcasts, take courses, make elaborate plans, all in the name of preparation. And here's the tricky part: it feels productive. Gathering information gives you a sense of movement, as if you're making progress. But learning, no matter how intense or thorough, isn't the same as doing. This is where perfectionism sneaks in, wearing the mask of preparation. You tell yourself that you just need one more skill, one more piece of knowledge, one more sign from the universe. You convince yourself that once everything lines up perfectly, then you'll start. But that perfect moment never actually arrives. What you're really experiencing is fear. Fear of failure, fear of looking foolish, fear of uncertainty, dressed up as logic. How to build momentum from zero. If motivation comes from momentum, and momentum comes from action, then the real question is this: how do you take action when you feel absolutely nothing? No drive, no spark, no enthusiasm, just that heavy sense of resistance. The answer is deceptively simple. Make the action so small that it doesn't need motivation to begin with. You shrink the goal until it feels laughably easy, so easy that saying no would feel ridiculous. Don't tell yourself you're going to write an entire book. That's overwhelming. Tell yourself you'll write a single sentence. Don't declare you're going to get in the best shape of your life. Just commit to doing one push-up. When the first step is this tiny, failure becomes almost impossible. And that's the point. Once you've lowered the barrier to entry, the second principle kicks in: count reps, not results. Most people quit early because they measure their success by outcomes they can't control yet, like how much weight they've lost, how many followers they've gained, or how close they are to finishing a project. But outcomes take time. What you can control is whether or not you showed up today. Did you take that one small step? That's a win. Did you repeat the action no matter how modest it looked? That's progress. By shifting your focus from performance to practice, You remove the pressure of perfection and build a foundation for consistency. And consistency is what creates real momentum. The third principle is to stack wins. Each tiny success is like lighting a match. One sentence often turns into a paragraph. One push-up often turns into 5 or 10. One small action often awakens the motivation you thought you lacked. Your brain starts to associate these little wins with a hit of dopamine, the pleasure chemical that drives you to keep going. Soon you're no longer dragging yourself forward, your brain is actually pulling you toward the next action. Think of it like climbing a staircase. Nobody leaps from the bottom to the top in a single bound. You climb step by step. Each step makes the next one possible. Or think of it like a line of dominoes. The emotional shift. Once you truly grasp this idea, everything about how you approach life shifts. The waiting game ends. You stop sitting around hoping to feel ready before you begin. You stop relying on sudden bursts of inspiration to get moving. You stop giving your emotions the authority to decide whether you take action or not. You begin to understand something powerful. Success has very little to do with feeling a certain way, and everything to do with what you choose to do despite how you feel. The people who make real progress don't wait for their emotions to line up perfectly. They act first. And here's the beautiful paradox. Once you start moving, the feelings you are waiting for often catch up to you. Motivation isn't something that greets you at the starting line. Most days, you won't wake up inspired, fired up, or full of energy. But if you take that first step anyway, no matter how small, motivation tends to appear along the way. It shows up in the middle of the process, not at the beginning. This is the emotional turning point that separates dreamers from doers. The people who actually create change in their lives don't wait for some magical spark. They generate it through consistent action. Every single action you take is like casting a vote for the person you want to become. Every repetition, no matter how small, is proof that you're rewriting your story. Each little victory reshapes the way you see yourself. Over time, with enough of these votes, something incredible happens. You stop identifying as someone who struggles to begin. You start to see yourself as someone who simply moves, someone who shows up, takes action, and keeps going. Momentum replaces motivation as your driving force. Movement becomes natural, automatic, almost effortless. Instead of constantly trying to push yourself to get started, you find that starting is simply what you do. That's when the game changes completely. Remember, motivation gets you started, but momentum keeps you going when the spark is gone. What's one small step you can take today to build momentum? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see what you're working on. If this message hit home, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's stuck waiting for the right time. Until next time, stay focused, stay consistent, and keep building your own unstoppable momentum.